It's a standing breakfast with Bev. You've never seen one of these before. You don't even know what to expect now. I'm doing this breakfast with Bev today, not to establish a streak, but to test some camera things. Yesterday I recorded in 1080p, and for whatever reason on this camera, 4K footage scaled down to 1080 looks better than the 1080 footage at 1080. But sort of annoying because I like the wider look when it's sampling more of the sensor. I have had to use wide angle lenses and then crop rather than being able to use zoomed lenses as they should be used normally. So it's just kind of a weird limitation that I would like to be rid of. So this camera that I'm recording on is the second real interchangeable lens camera that I bought. The first one was this EOS M. It came out a long time ago, probably 10 years ago at this point. I bought it 5 or 6 years ago for $200, something like that. And it was a good introduction to interchangeable lens systems and learning what a real camera is like to use. I bought this because I was like, I want to take things seriously, whatever that means, and I want to learn to like make video good. Because before this I had like a little Canon point and shoot, not like a real camera, but it did record HD technically. And so I bought this because I was like, I want to do stuff that looks good. I want to figure all that out. And I bought it. I took some shots with it. I bought a couple vintage lenses, just, cheap junk, and tried to figure out what works. What does aperture mean? What does ISO mean? How do I get things that look good? And, I was bad at it, but I got better. I shot the first couple of YouTube videos that are on my main channel on this. And as I started to reach the upper bounds of what this camera could allow me to do, I started to realize that I didn't have much else to do with this one. If I wanted to actually have good looking video that wasn't a major pain to shoot, I would have to take a step up. The main thing with this was the focusing was terrible. Autofocusing was non-functional, and it maxed out at 1080, which looked not great. I'm not saying 1080 is not good, by the way. 1080 is good. It's just this was bad 1080. And so I took the next step up. I went and bought this thing, the M50 Mark II. It was like $800, something like that. This was a major upgrade and a step up, and I was able to get like actually good looking video out of it. But when I took that step, I felt kind of bad. I was like, I spent money on this thing. It wasn't a lot of money, but I spent money on it, and my intention was to make something of it and, make things I could post. And in the end, I didn't really do much with it. And I felt like, okay, why am I taking this next step if I haven't fully utilized the tools that I already have? And I am experiencing the same dilemma as I'm thinking about upgrading from this camera. I sort of feel like, okay, maybe there's like 4 presentable videos that I've made with this camera. I'm talking about videos on my main channel that are actually intended to be like videos for an audience outside of my friends and family. I'm feeling like I haven't used this camera to its fullest extent, but I think what I'm not giving enough merit to is the fact that each of these steps along the way, each of these cameras that I've purchased along my journey of being better at video production, they have each taught me a lot, and I'm not giving enough merit to what I've learned from using a camera versus what I've made with the camera. And so I think my apprehension to buying a new camera is that I feel like it's almost like I haven't earned that purchase. Like I need to make a bunch of good stuff with the camera I have to be able to warrant buying a new one. I am trying to avoid feeling like I'm doing something productive by just making a purchase, which is an easy trap to fall into. But it's also like, this camera helped me get my current job. Like, I probably wouldn't have the job I have right now if it weren't for that camera. Not even just because of the quality being noticeably better or it just being easier to shoot with. It's more so the the things that it's taught me and how to use a camera, how to actually make a shot look okay. Which is funny that I'm talking about that, because this shot that I'm in right now is not composed well at all. A valuable purchase isn't just what you directly materially get out of it, but also what you learn out of it, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, for example, my car. My car was objectively a bad purchase. Like, it cost more than it should have just to start. And then there was all the issues that cost a lot of money. But, objectively, for the money I've put into it, it's a terrible car. But it taught me a lot of things. And if I had bought a nice running car, would I know how to work on a car as much as I do now? Probably not. I would be in a different place with that little journey. And so sometimes if purchases aren't the most materially valuable, that doesn't mean they were a waste. I feel like that can be somewhat relatable for, not everybody is buying cameras, but I feel like everybody experiences the feeling of purchasing a tool or purchasing something that you feel isn't deserved or that you haven't earned it exactly. Or am I just spending money to feel like I'm getting something done, But that's where I'm at. I'm like, I am working a job in videography now with aspirations to branch that into my own thing and be making my own videos and maybe some freelance video gigs on the side. And I'm using a fairly, hobbyist consumer grade camera still. Like this camera is marketed towards like vloggers that don't know how to run a camera. Like it's intended to be easy to use for people that want something that looks nice but isn't hard to run. And for as much of a camera nerd as I am now and how much I've learned about these things, a step up I think is warranted. I'm just trying to figure out if it's justified or not and when that purchase makes sense. And I'm in no financial position to make a purchase like that anytime soon because I'm poor, because moving into a new place makes you poor. But I'm talking about the next, 6 months here. Anyway, the sun has pretty much rose now. Let's see how much worse my lighting is, how overblown the background is compared to me. It's always funny shooting at sunrises because you set your, exposure to one level and then it gets brighter and brighter, and by the end of the video your lighting looks terrible. That's all. See you tomorrow maybe, probably not. No promises.